In Your Future Self, How to Make Tomorrow Better Today, Hal Hershfield explores a deceptively simple but life-altering idea: the relationship we have with who we are going to become profoundly shapes the quality of our decisions in the present. He begins by illuminating an uncomfortable truth: most people treat their future selves like strangers. We say we want to save money, get healthier, or write that book, but we often act in ways that suggest we don't really care about the version of ourselves who will inherit the consequences. Hershfield, a behavioral psychologist, uses research in neuroscience and psychology to show that when we think about the future version of ourselves, our brains light up in the same regions used when thinking about other people. In other words, we may intellectually know our future self is us, but emotionally and neurologically, we often fail to identify with them. This misalignment has real consequences. When you don't feel emotionally connected to your future self, you're less likely to make decisions that benefit that person, less likely to eat well, save money, follow through on commitments, or delay gratification for a longer-term payoff. Hershfield introduces the concept of future self continuity, which refers to how strongly you feel connected to the person you're going to become. People with high future self continuity are more likely to act in ways that benefit their long-term selves, while those with low continuity tend to act impulsively or avoid long-term planning altogether. But this continuity isn't fixed; it can be cultivated, nurtured, and strengthened. One of the most accessible tools Hershfield recommends is visualization. He invites readers to engage with their future selves in vivid, emotional ways: write them letters, look at aged photos of yourself, imagine not just where you'll be in 10 years, but how you'll feel on a random Tuesday. These small exercises might sound trivial, but they establish emotional empathy between your present and future identity, which in turn influences behavior. When your future self becomes real, not an abstract idea, but a person you care about, you're far more likely to act in their best interest. This is the heart of the book's power. It reframes self-control not as a battle of discipline, but as an act of connection. Hershfield acknowledges the tension between planning for the future and enjoying the present. There's a danger, he warns, in over-investing in tomorrow at the expense of today. The solution is not all or nothing, but what he calls a balanced time perspective. This means honoring both selves, making choices that bring joy now while remaining mindful of future outcomes. For example, instead of choosing between fun and fitness, find forms of movement that feel good today and are sustainable over time. Instead of restricting every indulgence, build in treats that satisfy you now without derailing long-term goals. It's not about sacrifice, it's about harmony between present and future desires. The book also dives into why we so often fail at willpower. Hershfield reframes this failure not as a character flaw but as a symptom of misalignment between identity and action. If you don't see yourself as someone who cares about your future, resisting temptation becomes nearly impossible. But if you build the identity of someone who invests in their future self, healthier choices become more automatic. He gives examples of people who were able to radically shift behaviors by starting small and reinforcing their emerging identity with daily wins. This identity work isn't about pretending to be someone you're not, it's about uncovering who you actually want to become and beginning to live that way now. Regret, often viewed as a burden, is also reframed. Hershfield explains that regret is a powerful signal, not a weight to carry. When used constructively, regret highlights the gap between who we were and who we want to be. Rather than letting regret paralyze you, it can serve as a compass for more aligned future actions. Many people avoid imagining their future selves because they carry shame about the past. But Hershfield argues that healing that relationship, making peace with past versions of yourself, frees you to care for the future without fear or avoidance. The book offers insights into how culture and language shape our view of time. In some languages, like Mandarin or Finnish, there's little grammatical distinction between present and future. Studies show that speakers of these languages tend to make more future-oriented choices, like saving more and smoking less. This linguistic lens reveals something deeper: how we speak about the future influences how real it feels. If we describe the future as distant, foggy, or separate, we're less likely to care for it. But when we describe it as a natural extension of now, a road we're already walking, we become more invested in where it leads. Midway through the book, Hirschfeld introduces the concept of temporal landmarks, psychological reset points like birthdays, New Year's, or the start of a week. These markers give us a sense of fresh starts, allowing us to renew our commitment to change. They're useful not because of their magic, but because they give us an excuse to imagine a different future and act in alignment with it. If you missed your New Year's resolution, you don't have to wait 12 months. Your next Monday, birthday, or season can be the moment you step into a more intentional version of yourself. A particularly moving theme in the final chapters is the idea of self-compassion. Just as we're encouraged to treat others with kindness, Hirschfeld argues we must extend that same care to our future selves. This doesn't mean indulgence or avoidance, it means empathy. If your future self is tired, stressed, or disappointed, how would you want to help them? This emotional bridge becomes a motivator for change. You brush your teeth not because you love dental hygiene, but because you care about not hurting your future self. Hirschfeld argues that much of responsible behavior is really just kindness in disguise. Ultimately, the book is a call to reimagine our relationship with time. The future isn't some distant place we'll magically arrive at, it's being created moment by moment in the choices we make today. Every decision is a vote for the kind of person we're becoming. Hirschfeld makes it clear, the future self is not a stranger, but a continuation of us, shaped by our values, our habits, and our sense of identity. By treating that self with dignity, care, and consistency, we reshape not just our own trajectory but our capacity to live meaningfully in the present. Hirschfeld doesn't offer magic formulas or rigid systems. What he provides is a shift in perspective, a gentle but firm redirection of attention from the tug of immediate gratification to the deeper satisfaction of long-term purpose. It's not a prescription but an invitation, to sit down with your future self, ask what they need, and begin acting accordingly. And in doing so, you realize something beautiful. The path to becoming your future self isn't paved with sacrifice, but with connection, understanding, and intention. The future you is waiting, not to scold or shame you, but to thank you. Ultimately, the book is a call to reimagine our relationship with time. The future isn't some distant place we'll magically arrive at, it's being created moment by moment in the choices we make today. Every decision is a vote for the kind of person we're becoming. Hirschfeld makes it clear, the future self is not a stranger, but a continuation of us, shaped by our values, our habits, and our sense of identity. By treating that self with dignity, care, and consistency, we reshape not just our own trajectory but our capacity to live meaningfully in the present. Hirschfeld doesn't offer magic formulas or rigid systems. What he provides is a shift in perspective, a gentle but firm redirection of attention from the tug of immediate gratification to the deeper satisfaction of long-term purpose. It's not a prescription but an invitation, to sit down with your future self, ask what they need, and begin acting accordingly. And in doing so, you realize something beautiful. The path to becoming your future self isn't paved with sacrifice, but with connection, understanding, and intention. The future you is waiting, not to scold or shame you, but to thank you for showing up.